Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi, on sign language Dorothy Namuyomba. Let us dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni and William Ruto of Kenya, Yoweri Museveni and William Ruto of Kenya have been installed as Luo elders during the Pinyi Luo Cultural Festival at Got Ramogi in Siaya County. The three-day festival, which celebrated the traditions and legacy of the Luo people, concluded with a grand ceremony presided over by Kerodungi Randa, a respected Luo leader.
We need strength which can defend us from all threats, including people who are operating from the moon. Some people go to the moon, and for us, we are here. They are looking at us from there as if we are small insects. And they can spray things on us we don't even know. And we are just here, defense forces. What are you defending? You don't even know what is in the sky. So, number 3, strategic security. But mission number 4 was using the undugu which exists to do the other three. Number 1, independence. Number 2, prosperity. Number 3, strategic security. How do you achieve this? Use the undugu which is already existing. If there are Jaruos in Congo, in Uganda, in South Sudan, in Ethiopia, in Kenya, in Tanzania, why don't you use that? Why don't you use it to bring these countries together? If there are Bantus in all these places, why don't you use them to bring people together? They are taken care. This is Karamoja and all that. They have been killing one another all the time. I'm the one who came to save them. Simply stop killing one another. The Karamoja, the Turkanas, what? Killing, confusion. What are you fighting for? They are fighting for cows. They don't know how to look after cows. They are killing them. They say they are looking after them. So, now that we are beginning to use this approach of getting the people together, I am very happy. Where I heard what the professor was saying, that you played football, you wrestled, and so on. But I wish you had added one political item, not 2, not 3, the one of political federation. If you had added, is that highly political or what? What is it? For me, I think if you talk of culture, you cannot avoid that one. The political federation of East Africa. What will the federation solve? The federation will deal with the issue of prosperity. How? How do you get prosperity? I always ask those people, where does prosperity come from? Can you get prosperity from begging Americans for money? Can you get prosperity from what? How are you going to get prosperity? Prosperity, ustawi wa jamii, comes from producing a good or a service. Each family or each company producing a product. Bidhaa au huduma. Producing a good or a service and selling it. Now, once you talk of selling, then you are talking of soko. So if you talk of soko, of market, the question is the tribal market of the Jaru enough? No. That's where Kenya is superior to Jaruos only. That's why in Uganda, in our movement, we say patriotism. Principle number 1 of our movement is patriotism. Love Uganda, Uganda fatherland. Why? Because Uganda is better than the Banyankore. Banyankore is my tribe. In Uganda, I sell more milk, more beef, more bananas, than I sell to the Banyankore. So if somebody comes and tells me, we Banyankore, shetani. Shetani kwenda. Kwa sababu siani yangu ni Uganda. Siani yangu ambayo inanisaidia kuishi vizuri ni Uganda. They are the ones who are buying my milk. They are the ones who are buying my beef. They are the ones buying my bananas. If you come to Victoria, I've got a very nice house there. But that house is from Uganda more than from my tribe.
Now, the Electricity Regulatory Authority has announced a 5.2% reduction of electricity prices for the first quarter of 2025. While announcing the first quarter of electricity tariff review, ERA board chairperson Dr. Kanabi Wasagali reiterated on the new category of public amenities, which focus on public installations.
The 5.2% reduction in the weighted average end-user tariff, as announced by the Electricity Regulatory Authority, is based on several assumptions, especially the expected growth in the electricity demand.
These tariffs represent a weighted average reduction of 5.2% compared to the tariffs of Q4 2024, reducing the cost of delivering electricity services by shillings 155 billion shillings.
Increasing demand of electricity through ensuring that we spread. If we increase the demand of electricity, then we spread the fixed costs that we incur as a sector over many consumers, and therefore naturally we bring down the tariff.
This is the highest figure of electricity price cut compared to the last year of 2024, where the average electricity cut was 1.6%. The authority has come up with the strategic categories while bidding. The public amenities category, where price has been cut by 2.7%, is to relieve the burden of bills from hospitals, security installations and street lights.
Hospitals have been defaulting on payments, and the president gave a directive not to switch off hospitals. But the collector needs this money. You know, the barracks, police. How do you switch off police? How do we switch off UPDF? How do we switch off those important public institutions? So we hope that this time round, those institutions will pay us now that we are reducing the cost of power. So congratulations.
In comparison to the fourth quarter of 2024 to the first quarter of 2025, ERA has made tariff adjustments like domestic tariff from 796.4 shillings over 2024 to 775.7 shillings over 2025, which is 2.6%. The commercial tariff reduced from 599.9 per unit to 575.2 shillings, representing a 4.1% reduction. Medium industrial tariffs reduced from 428 shillings to 417.8 shillings, which is 6.7%. Extra large industrial tariff has also been reduced from 320.1 to 299.1, which is 6.1%. And the public amenities, where the power price has been reduced from 370 shillings to 360 shillings, representing a 2.7% reduction.
The tariff they will read today has the various contributions. The generation segment is contributing 62.4%. The transmission segment is contributing 4.4%, because most of the transmission infrastructure is funded by government through concessional loan and through funding from the Treasury. And the distribution segment is contributing 33.2%. Of that, UEDCL is contributing 10%, Umeme Limited, a distribution operation and maintenance costs and reconciliations to take into consideration the end of the concession is contributing 20.3%, and the Umeme investment 3%. So that totals the 100% of the cost of the Yaka token that each of us will be paying.
The sector is driven by declining block tariff to lower production costs while enhancing regional competitiveness. This initiative intends to support demand growth framework,
ensuring that we spread, if we increase the demand of electricity, then we spread the fixed costs that we incur as a sector over many consumers, and therefore naturally we bring down the tariff.
with the government taking over all power concessions from private electricity vendors through Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Tariffs are expected to drop to facilitate the country's development goals. Abdul Nasir Lubwama for UBC.
Now, the Senior Presidential Assistant on Special Duties, Fiona Barungi, has called for stricter laws to combat land grabbing, a practice that has plagued Uganda for years. Barungi strongly condemned the growing incidents of land grabbing and the misuse of office by some leaders, which have left many Ugandans homeless and in despair. This was during a function attended by State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja.
State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, issued a stern warning to those involved in land grabbing, assuring that all perpetrators would face legal consequences. He reiterated the President's commitment to ensuring that every Ugandan has access to land for settlement, emphasizing that justice will prevail.
Found engaging in evictions will be prosecuted according to the law. Recently from the courts, which state that presidential directives have force of law. So these directives now have force of law, and as far as have been given under Article 99, 1, 2, and 3 of the Constitution. President Museveni is still holding power. He's the one who has provided security. He's going to put in more strength and will guide us more. And with us, his lieutenant, his foot soldiers there, we are going to work hard to make sure that this thing is the bad history.
A senior presidential assistant, Special Duties, Fiona Barungi, criticized residential district commissioners, RDCs, for failing to fulfill their responsibilities. She accused some RDCs of colliding with land grabbers and fraudulent landowners to unlawfully evict residents.
That we have faced is to do with some of the RDCs have not done their right job. Some of the RDCs have managed to fail us in a way that they are not doing the right thing. Usually there is a word that I use, that some people are sleeping in offices. Some people are sleeping in offices, they are not doing the right thing.
She also called out lawyers who provide harmful advice to their clients and pointed to lack of coordination between officers handling land issues, which has contributed to widespread fraud and mismanagement.
Me and the Honorable Minister, State for Lands, Honorable Mayanja, we have found it so, complicated, whereby we are working towards the right thing and we find a stumbling block. A stumbling block is some officers who are not doing the right thing in their offices, who are not there to serve the needs of the wananchi. The miscoordination of offices have done harm to some of us who want to serve the people. That if there are 3 or 4 offices that are supposed to be handling land, but 2 or 3 are miscoordinated, definitely they will fail 1 or 2.
Barungi outlined strategies for the upcoming year to address these challenges, emphasizing the need for better coordination among land-related offices.
If we are jointly coordinated and we put our efforts together towards land matters, we are going to reduce the challenges.
Kikube RDC Amulant Musime acknowledged the difficulties in addressing land grabbing and proposed actionable steps to reduce its prevalence.
We have been able, for example, to identify fake land titles, and we have successfully cancelled them. And we have also been able to allow the rightful owners to process their own titles.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
Now, the question of wetland encroachment is one that remains in the public domain in Uganda. Rice growers, business operators and factory proprietors have been cited as some of the leading culprits, hence climate change effects. Authorities responsible for environmental conservation describe this as wetlands being victims of strategic mistakes.
We are yet to see more floods, according to the predictions. The March-May wet season is likely to extend into June. And because of climate change, the seasons have become now more unpredictable. We no longer have precise seasons.
Human life across the world is under threat of vagaries of nature, also known as climate change. Whether droughts, floods, landslides, or even hailstorms, the effects have been felt, sometimes becoming fatal. All these have been partly attributed to effects of population growth, whose activities have rendered the fragile ecosystem vulnerable.
Approximately 5 million people in rural areas get their daily freshwater supply from the wetlands, and economic value estimated at US $25 million per year. However, these natural resources have come under a lot of pressure due to increasing human population and weak enforcement of the laws on wetlands.
While updating Parliament on the status of wetlands in 2020, State Minister for Environment, Beatrice Atim Annuar, disclosed that the rate at which the environment is being degraded is not matching restoration efforts.
Wetland coverage dropped from 37,346.3 square kilometer in 1994, that is about 15%, to 21,526.3 square kilometers, about 8.9% of the total national surface area. If this trend is not reversed, Right Honourable Speaker, by deliberate and dedicated restoration programs countrywide, we shall be left with only 1.6% by 2040, which is unacceptable.
Unacceptable because all regions were reported affected, with eastern Uganda leading at 46% degradation rate. This was at a record 25 years before 2020, with central and western regions standing at 29 and 28% respectively. This was attributed to expansion of subsistence agriculture, industrial developments and settlements. Industrial development is one of the factors that Uganda has zeroed on as a pathway to economic development. This has unfortunately come with ecological costs, rendering wetlands vulnerable. When Lukaya Rice Paddy was established, the vision was reportedly to promote food security, employment, and also contribute to industrial development. Land was legally acquired and the investment license lawfully secured.
For me, I'm thinking about do something to help this country. In China, we see give someone fish is better to give them the skill of how to fishing. So that's why I do this, is just to see how to help this country.
The farm, which is reported to have begun on 500 acres, has since expanded to 6,000 acres, producing 10,000 tons of rice annually. However, in 2020, about 2,000 acres of the farm were reported to have been lost to rising water levels on Lake Victoria. Despite its mechanized capacity, where the company has trained farmers in mechanized rice growing, land preparation, planting, transplanting and harvesting, environmental concerns have been raised.
There were issues of trade-offs that could have led to strategic mistakes, especially in the location of industries in wetlands, permission of rice growing in wetlands, Chibuku, Ruera, and others.
Activists have raised concerns over diversion of water from a Lake Victoria catchment area and clearing of a large portion of a swamp that acted as a water catchment. They also decry interference with the drainage system, leading to heavy flooding and digging trenches in the rice fields that connect directly to the lake.
We also need food, so these rice schemes were allowed then for strategic reasons. It was a trade-off of environment and development, so I wouldn't say government was entirely wrong. It was a trade-off of the need to develop.
People who go cultivating in all the wetlands, all encroaching on degrading, maybe encroaching on the forest covers, there are basically two. One, the rising population is not matching the existing available Arab land for cultivation. Then, with that, it forces people to look for livelihood.
What's important is to invest more in climate proofing as well as climate mitigation. Climate mitigation in the sense that we must restore the ecosystem, remove the degradation, remove encroachment, plant more trees, but also we must invest in climate adaptation, climate proofing, have infrastructure that can withstand climate vagaries because they are here. They are here to stay.
Roads flooded, homes submerged, and farmers stranded remain some of the known effects of wetland encroachment. Where does the quest for restoration leave rice farmers? Henry Okrut, UBC.
Winning requires muscles tougher than concrete. But when you shop with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations! You have finished shopping and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You
can now get all the chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Winning requires muscles tougher than concrete. But when you shop with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN and pay. Congratulations! You have finished shopping and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. The Commander of Land Forces, Lieutenant General Karamoja Mahanga, has praised the collaboration between local leaders and security forces in Karamoja for contributing to the region's ongoing peace. He emphasized that the positive impact has extended to neighboring areas, including Teso, Sebei, Acholi, and Lango.
A senior UPDF officer, Brigadier General Wilberforce Serunkuma, has assumed the role of the 3rd Division Commander, succeeding Major General Don Williams Nabasa, who has been reassigned to the UPDF headquarters. The ceremony took place at the 3rd Division headquarters in Moroto District.
Contribution to the peace we enjoy today is above 70%. Ours is just 30 or less. You are the lead agency in the peace, in pursuing peace. You are the lead agency in this region, and we have done it so well. Why? Because we came back to you people, we realized our mistakes, we came back to you, you accepted us, and are going to work with us. You have now led us, and this is why we're doing this.
And the other is that where you see, you identify a weakness in me, that is where you focus your support, so that we move together to pacify Karamoja.
Colonel Alan Changungu was appointed as Deputy Commander of the 3rd Division. The Commander of the Land Forces, Lieutenant General Karamoja Mahanga, highlighted the importance of collaboration between security forces and local leaders for restoring stability in Karamoja.
I'm highly impressed with the cooperation between the civilian leaders, the political leaders, religious leaders, all leaders at all levels, and the civilian population for the very, very good cooperation we have with the army and other security agencies. This is very, very impressive. And I now ask the incoming commander, the division commander, Brigadier General Serunkuma, this cooperation with the local leadership should continue and should be even more strengthened.
He also stressed the need for improved coordination with neighboring countries such as Kenya and South Sudan to enhance regional security.
There is continued external coordination with other forces, the neighboring security forces in Kenya and South Sudan, so that we attain the other total peace. You say it's now 80%, we need the 20% too.
The Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Peter Lokeris, urged leaders to allow the government to verify which Karachunas should be pardoned.
A lot of over 3,500 young men are in prisons across the country. Some of them, of course, all of us were angry. Some have been given 20 years, 25 years, and I'm happy that the president has agreed to the ball is in your hands, that they be sorted out and
yet has sought out these people. There are those who are really hardened criminals. Yes. If they come back, they will go to the people who arrested them and say, you with me, you who can manage me. And when you see that I will release, then we'll go back to square one.
Leaders also praised Major General Don Nabasa for his open door policy, which has helped restore peace in the region.
It was the porousness of the region, and the people of Karamoja were becoming poor day and night because livestock were leaving the region from many points. And that's when we said one route of transportation of animals. That was the turning point, because those commercial raiders who are taking animals using trucks have no option but pass through that one way.
The people of Karamoja and indeed Texas sub-region, I talked to the chairman Caterpillar in the morning. We want to register our happiness and gratitude to you for your leadership, and indeed to all the commanders. I can confirm with confidence that Teso is safe.
It was really negotiated for the draft we have, because by then the base agreement could not be listened to us. So it was General Don who stood on behalf of AMDAT and talked to the Sabine people. That's why our animals are enjoying and we are at peace. We are also enjoying as women. You know, these men of ours during when there is a lot of war, they are the ones to guard us. But during your time, they've got enough time.
The chairperson of the Karamojong Parliamentary Group, Remigio Akia, called for mental disarmament as part of a broader pacification strategy for Karamoja sub-region.
Here, and that enemy is illiteracy. The next level of disarmament in Karamoja is education. And we have a good one when the parliament was thinking that let's pilot compulsory primary and secondary boarding in Karamoja. Because we can see the problem of funding. Even as we sit now here, you see the problem coming. Children are being born. Boys are born like in the church they are baptized. They grow up, they are confirmed. We see the problem of Karamoja coming. Young men growing up are not going to school. Why are they going to go?
The ceremony was attended by dignitaries including Minister Lokeris, UPDF officers, police, prisons officials, and politicians from Karamoja and Teso sub-regions. Story compiled by Maureen Iga for UBC News.
And as the new year begins, Kira Diocese celebrated a milestone as 15 religious sisters were consecrated perpetually to serve the Lord. In his New Year message delivered during the consecration ceremony, Bishop Sanctus Lino Wanoko of Lira Diocese urged Christians to focus on the mission of Christ and promote peace for humanity.
It was a joyful day in Lira City as 15 religious sisters of the congregation of the Missionary Sisters of Mary Mother of the Church made their perpetual vows in a ceremony held at the Mother House in Ngeta, Lira City.
Lord, you called me, here I am.
After over 3 years of discernment, the sisters made the ultimate commitment, dedicating themselves permanently to God's service.
Vow, chastity, poverty and obedience for all my life.
A key moment in the ceremony saw sisters prostrate before the altar, symbolizing total surrender to God. This was followed by the bishop presenting them with the rings, signifying their status as brides of Christ. The event also honored 3 sisters who have devoted over 50 years serving God. This dedication was recognized by Pope Francis, who commended their generous service to the church.
You see the big bangs of last night, it was all over the world. Noisy, smoky, losing direction, drinking. The whole thing is a lot of noise in the world yesterday.
In his message to the congregation, Bishop Santos Lino Wano called on humanity to embrace calmness and return to the mission of God. He expressed concern over the increasing noise and distraction to God's creation, urging the faithful to pray unceasingly for the salvation of the world.
An economist would say how much money was just spoiled in these banks. If they calculate, they found. But how many people are dying, like those in Gaza, and starving because of lack of food, because of the war, the power of humanity?
The bishop also lamented the tendency of people to prioritize tribal pursuits while neglecting their neighbors, many of whom struggle to meet basic needs.
Calm down and get focused like Mary, who is a true mother.
Religious sisters play a vital role in the church and society. They dedicate their lives to prayer, teaching, health care, social work and pastoral ministry. Through their acts of service and unwavering commitment to God, they embody Christ's love and contribute significantly to the spiritual and physical well-being of the communities they serve. Eddie Ulwa, UBC News.
Meanwhile, the Spirit of Glory Right Tabernacle Church lead pastor Robert Sawava Senyonjo has urged Ugandans to approach 2025 with caution, highlighting the political significance of the year as the country enters a period of campaigning. Pastor Dr. Olivia Senyonjo, his wife, shared similar guidance, encouraging the congregation to proceed carefully and dedicate their lives to God to ensure a brighter, more purposeful future.
okutambula nga tulaga obutuukirivu, okutambula nga tuli beegendereza mu linnya lya Mukama waffe Yesu, kubanga ayogedde n'agamba nti olubereberye Katonda yatonda eggulu n'ensi, nti era ne waaliwo mu lubereberye ensi yali njereere nga yeetabudde n'ekizikiza.
And Semuto Archdeacon Venerable Canon James Ebil Wama has urged Luweero Diocese Christians and Ugandans in general to set achievable goals for the new year. The Archdeacon made this appeal while delivering the New Year sermon at St. Paul's Church, the headquarters of Semuto Archdeaconry, where Christians gathered for the service.
Venerable Canon James Ebil Wama emphasized that when Christians set overly ambitious goals and struggle to achieve them, they often end up feeling unhappy.
The Bible tells us not to be anxious about tomorrow, but to leave God to work for tomorrow for us. I want to thank God. People should not be anxious. People want to be rich. Yes, even where you are, you're already rich. It is actually relative to be rich. I want to challenge us that you look at life first before you think about any material gain.
He advised Christians to seek God first in the new year, trusting that He will grant the desires of their hearts.
Above all, the year has begun. We need to work very hard to see that even our children goes to school and they study. But not only studying, we also need to find time for our children. I want to challenge us. We have done a lot looking for money for fees, but we have not done a lot to nurture our children. I encourage parents out there that please sit with your child so that you get the value for the money you wake up very early to go and make. Don't put in children when you've not helped them.
The Archdeacon also advised Christians to take time away from their busy schedules to nurture their children rather than working hard for them without giving them proper attention.
I want to bless God today, for the Lord has been kind to us in the old year 2024. Though we pass through it with challenges, but the Lord has been with us. The Lord has been good to us. And now I want to challenge our Christians all over this archdeaconry. One, when we talk about circumcision, Jesus Christ was circumcised on the 8th day. But it is not circumcision which is a physical sign, which is great, but it is our faith. We need to be strong in faith.
The new Assistant Vicar of Semuto Archdeaconry, Reverend Zechariah Mubiru, and his wife, Elsie Mubiru, were introduced to the congregation.
Now, the communities of Uganda and Kenya along the Busia border recently reflected on the New Year event held at Bujwanga in Funyula constituency, Kenya. This two-day event, organized by Samia stakeholders from both Busia, Kenya and Uganda under the Bananda Sports and Cultural Association, focused on regional economic policies and promoted sports and cultural activities including football, traditional dance and rope pulling.
Kenyans and Ugandans living along the Busia border jointly celebrated the New Year at Bujwanga in Funyula constituency, Kenya. The two-day event, which featured sports and cultural performances, was organized by Samia stakeholders from both Busia, Kenya and Uganda under the Bananda Sports and Cultural Association.
A day like this, we generally come together to remind ourselves, to bring together, because we have done other activities over the year.
The occasion also included speeches from Dr. Wilberforce Ojambo Owundo, Member of Parliament for Funyula constituency in Kenya, and Geoffrey Odero Were, Member of Parliament for Samia Bugwe South in Busia, Uganda. Both leaders emphasized the importance of this annual alternating regional engagement, which aims to strengthen unity and regional cooperation.
And the reason why our forefathers began this tournament, it was to bring together the two communities. You know, the colonial boundaries which were put there by the white people, they had to divide us. We share common roots. During such a time, there were some misunderstandings among the colonial chiefs. That's why our forefathers saw it wise that why are we fighting as people who belong to one community? It was started during that time to foster that unity, to bring the people together. And from then, we have continued with the ancestors.
Sports captains Obulu John Cowboy from Uganda and Othiembo Charles from Kenya highlighted that these activities will continue to build a stronger bond between the two communities. Former Kenyan presidential aspirant Professor George Wajakayo also attended the event. He encouraged education, acknowledging that the Samia people are among the best educated in Eastern Central Africa. The event focused on regional economic policies while also promoting sports and cultural activities such as football, traditional dance and rope pulling.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister Rhoda Ngonzi has instructed families who were evicted from land in Kijumba Village, Kiuni Sub-County, Mubende District, to return to their land. This order came after Ngonzi visited the land, which spans approximately 120 acres. She found that these families who had been displaced were living in difficult conditions, with some of their houses destroyed by a military officer, Colonel Agaba.
The land under dispute is about 120 acres found in Kijumba village in Kiuni sub-county in Mubende district. 73-year-old Evariste Lukosa was born here. Lukosa is an NRA veteran of the 1980 Bush War and is also a victim of this land wrangle involving a military officer identified as Colonel Agaba.
RA 18585 na mwaka chenda mwezi kwetu kwa soka baiswa tabemba training school na tena kama miaka mka.
Several families comprising about 100 people petitioned the Prime Minister Rhoda Ngonzi seeking her intervention. They informed the Prime Minister how the alleged land grabbers destroyed their crops that included banana plantations and coffee.
Nga bati bakomerera ko lwenju abajimala nga tubegaja tubagamba basebo kakati ffe tulagewa nti ffe bete mu bitubulira ffe twaba wadde omwaka mulamba muve wano ko ffe tetumanyi owulidde basebo nti ffe tubagee muvewo tubawadde wiiki egi emu nga muvuddewo ne wiiki teyawera tuba tuli awo nga bayiwa amayumba gaffe nga bagatema.
The Prime Minister Rhoda Ngonzi directed them to return to their ancestral land and directed the police to arrest the family heir, Raphael Isagara.
Era tata waffe Isagara gye yali abeera era nga Isagara oyo musika wa jjajjaffe Kateera.
Kakati nange ndajja tuleke kumala na budde. Oyo Isagara akwatibwe. Bonna abateeka emikono ku ndagaano omuli chairman RC1, RC2 bonna bakwatibwe. Abantu bonna be bajja ku kibanja byabwe mudde ku bibanja byammwe.
The Prime Minister also promised to extend food relief from the office of the Prime Minister.
Njagala okulagira bino. Office ya Prime Minister egenda okubaweereza emmere emyezi 3. Tujja kulaba nga bwe ngamba muzeeyi asobole okubasumbuusa. Naye mistake ezaaliwo nsaba okwetonda ku lwa gavumenti. Naddala neetondera omusajja ono kopo 5. Musajja mulwanyi wa muzeeyi naye bamugobaganya mpulidde n'ensonyi ng'abinyonyola.
Okutambula tunoonye omusirikale ono. Twatuuka n'ebbombo Businge n'abula. Kutuuka bwe twafuna erinnya erituufu ne tumunoonya ne tumukwata era twamukwatire Mubende.
Land disputes in Mubende continue to leave hundreds displaced, and the leaders say more people are in panic for fear of eviction from their land.
naye amaze okutekola enteekateeka era ayagala kugoba abantu ku ttaka.
The relative of these people who sold this land is arrest, it's an order.
Now, police have confirmed they are investigating the alleged clash between artist Pius Mayanja Palaso and Mulwana Patrick Alien Skin, who are believed to have had a disagreement on 1st January during a performance in Buloba, Kampala. The altercation, which saw Palaso allegedly attack Alien Skin's residence and destroy property, has raised concerns about whether the police are allowing such public disturbances.
Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango has confirmed that indeed there was altercation which saw Palaso allegedly attack Alien Skin's residence and destroy property, something which has raised concerns about whether the police are allowing such public disturbances.
We are aware of what the damage that happened at Makindye, where Palaso went and destroyed 2 motor vehicles of Alien Skin and the windows of the house.
As the Uganda Police Force, we wish to send a very stern warning that we are going to round up all these groups and hold them to account for their actions.
Police said that Alien Skin has filed a case against Palaso and police will proceed with the investigations.
Today again in the morning he went back, and that's when he damaged the vehicles and the windows of the house. But we were informed when they were there and we responded. When we reached, I think they were tipped that police is coming and they took off. So we advised Alien Skin to register a case, which we have registered, a case of malicious damage, and they alleged that the boys also took some things, a case of aggravated robbery.
Musicians are hired to perform at these celebrations. On December 31st, 2024, the Buganda End of Year Feast, known as Nkuka, was held at Lubiri Mengo to usher in 2025 with artists like Mulwana Patrick alias Alien Skin hired to entertain the crowds.
Yate oluvanyuma ng'omukolo gutambula bulungi Alien Skin n'adda mbawagizi waffe n'atandika okubakuba ekyo nno tekyabadde tukabadde kabonero kalungi ate tetusobola kusirika nga abawagizi baffe batyoboolwa.
We have already commenced an investigations into their actions and we are going to start picking one by one. We want to send a very clear warning that you cannot turn public life upside down and deny other people an opportunity and a right to peacefully enjoy our general spaces.
However, his performance was marred by altercations between his security and law enforcement personnel, including the police and army. This incident was seen by some as a preparation for the following day's performance at the Empire Festival.
Where Palaso and Alien Skin were invited to go and perform in a show in Buloba.
The situation escalated when Alien Skin arrived at the festival to only find Palaso already performing.
When Palaso was on the stage performing, Alien Skin also arrived with his group, and in that process, nowadays young boys or young musicians have what they call freestyle. He started throwing words that either annoyed the boys of Alien Skin.
The dispute between the two camps began with Palaso allegedly leading a raid on Alien Skin's headquarters in Makindye.
For him, he didn't report anywhere. He just went to Makindye at night and attacked them. And he beat up some people. Today again in the morning he went back, and that's when he damaged the vehicles and the windows of the house.
Industry figures have condemned the violence, and some have criticized the security forces for not handling the situation firmly enough.
Police ekigambo ekituufu etya efavoring Alien Skin era ebintu byonna byonna ebiriwo poliisi bigivunaanyizibwako kikumi ku kinnaakyo. Alien Skin akoze ebbanga ddene nga tebamukwata. alien skin akoze effujjo lingi nnyo nga poliisi yemufavoringa.
My government, the government I serve, does not sponsor crime, does not sponsor criminality. The same government you are saying it is behind. We arrested Allen Skin a few months, not even 2 months ago. He was taken to Luzira only to be released by court. So if it is government aware and funding Allen Skin, it shouldn't be. The person responsible for that are the courts who are giving bail. You see, now I side with the president.
These musicians, certainly, we are not going to allow them to create a reign of terror on the Wananchis, and generally, when the police is seen, we are going to really take stern action.
Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyang denied claims that they are providing special security to either Alien Skin or Palaso.
I'm not aware of any. I'm not aware of any. If they were there, I would have been aware, but I'm not aware of any.
Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs Barnabal Gahara defended the ruling party, distancing it from the actions of the artists involved.
Democratic Alliance is not a member of any RM. No, he's not. He's signed a working relationship with the Democratic Alliance, which is headed by Right Honorable former Rob Mpuga. So there is nothing to do with government.
The public is now closely watching how authorities will address the situation. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Non-business Muslim women from Bunyoro Toro region have participated in a training program designed to teach practical skills with a focus on creativity and innovation to enhance their household incomes. The CAD Greater Chibale Muslim District Sheikh Isingoma Mohammed explained that the 3-day training covered a variety of hands-on skills including shoemaking, shoe polish production, crafting, black books, weaving, baskets and knitting sweaters. This initiative aims at empowering women and to help boost their household incomes.
Muslim women from the Bunyoro Toro region have been trained in practical skills and encouraged to be creative and innovative in order to improve their household incomes. The CAD of the Greater Chibale Muslim District, Sheikh Isingoma Mohammed, highlighted that the training program focused on a range of practical skills such as shoemaking, shoe polish production, crafting black books, basket weaving, and sweater knitting, all designed to improve household incomes.
Different things here as far as Islam is concerned, because we provided them with different sheikhs all over the country. So we have trained them different things. We are expecting a change on grassroots level.
Sheikh Mohammadi also appealed to the government to support the construction of a multi-story Muslim building, noting that the last government contribution to such a project was made in the 1970s by the late former president Idi Amin Dada.
Our friends and the government, we are asking more support, more especially from the government, because the mosque which we demolished and now we are putting up a storage mosque in 1970s. Idi Amin Dada by that time was the president, also supported the Muslims of Kagadi.
Aisha Justin Tumwebaze, a member of the General Assembly representing the Bunyoro Toro Muslim region at the Ghana Muslim Supreme Council, stated that Muslim women were trained and sensitized on various topics, including gender issues, the Muslim constitution, and practical skills, among others.
And the purpose of this seminar was basically to make sure that we equip women with different skills economically, and we also improve their spiritual well-being. During this seminar, we have been having so many topics. Among them, we have educated our women on bookmaking.
Muslim participants expressed their satisfaction with the training, sharing that they had gained valuable hands-on skills which they plan to use and share with their husbands to improve their livelihoods.
And now in sports, the Federation of Uganda Football Association's FUFA President, Engineer Moses Magago, has addressed the public and expounded on a wide range of football matters that will determine 2025. It was at the FUFA House in Mengo.
Of Uganda Football Association's President Moses Magogo has highlighted areas of focus in the new year, headlined by a decent championship of African nations next month that will dress rehearse for a perfect 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. The two tournaments, for which government has committed more than $350 million will, according to Magogo, realize much more, especially infrastructure development, which has been and still is a major Achilles heel for sports development in Uganda.
I wish to inform the country that the governments of Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda have made huge investments in infrastructure and associated expenses. As the population of over 170 million people of the hosting nations, you can expand it to 500 million people if we include the countries of Rwanda, Burundi, Ethiopia, South Sudan, DRC, Malawi and Zambia. This is the greatest opportunity to celebrate football and showcase our countries to the world. I'm aware that Uganda alone has already spent or earmarked more than $350 million for just these competitions.
Magogo is grateful to all stakeholders' contributions, but sternly warns anyone with intentions of predetermining football results, a vice that has already netted 19 people.
Please, as a football person, in your capacity as a journalist, in your capacity as a player, as a coach, resist, recognize, and report. My only worry is to see my very good friend when the law is taking course against you, and nobody, whether you're going to be the president, whether you're going to be a member of the executive, whether you're going to be whoever you are, for as long as this predetermination of results, these are some of the biggest crimes that sport can have.
The news conference, attended by several of the Federation's top officials, also addressed issues of governance like next year's FUFA president election that Magogo promised will be free, fair and thus open to anyone. On capacity building that he prides in, Magogo announced an increase in local dialects in which people can learn, with Luganda, Luo, Lunyachitara, Swahili and Lugbara the beneficiaries.
So as FUFA, we are going to train all those people who are involved within the game at the level of the General Assembly, at the level of our members, to ensure that, at our cost, to ensure that the people who are running the game understand the administration. Our objective is people to understand the administration of the game.
One other area insisted is mindset change that will help Ugandans appreciate their own products, with this not only limited to football.
Like I've already mentioned, it's not that we do not have resources. It's not that we do not have the potential to make the money. But we are in a situation that the mindset of the people need to be worked upon. We are Ugandans, we are born here, we will be buried here, we live here, and I'll still continue to recruit many of you, and I've seen some of you have been recruited in the campaign to say, let us support Ugandan football.
And that brings us to the end of news tonight. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. Dorothy Namiombo on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Good evening.